New details emerge in the Rust movie shooting case against Alec Baldwin, with prosecutors accusing the actor of losing control on set. In a recent public filing, New Mexico state prosecutors argue Mr. Baldwin lied about his actions in the fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. They go on to allege the 66-year-old lacked self-control, frequently screaming and cursing at himself, at crew members, and failed to pay attention during firearms training. They add he offered conflicting stories of the events following the shooting, and put the safety of others on set in danger. To watch Mr. Baldwin's conduct on the set of Rust is to witness a man who has absolutely no control of his emotions and absolutely no concern for how his conduct affects those around him, said the filing. Back in October of 2021, Mr. Baldwin was holding a Colt .45 while preparing for a scene in the movie when the gun went off, killing Hutchins and wounding director Joel Souza. He was indicted earlier this year on 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, negligent use of a firearm, or, in the alternative, involuntary manslaughter without due caution or circumspection. The filing comes after the actor requested the court dismiss his indictment, claiming the prosecution acted unethically and failed to present crucial evidence to a grand jury. In response, prosecutors accused Mr. Baldwin's legal team of lying and displaying manipulation tactics. The defendant's motion to dismiss is predictably false, misleading, and histrionic misrepresentation of the facts and circumstances of the history of the case, said the filing. During media appearances and official interviews following the shooting, prosecutors say Mr. Baldwin repeatedly contradicted himself and the events that transpired. It was unclear whether he pulled the trigger or whether he was taking direction from armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed or Mr. Souza. In sum, every time Mr. Baldwin spoke, a different version of events emerged from his mouth, said the filing. In petitioning the court, the actor's legal team claimed prosecutors were abusing the system and the rights of an innocent person. They add, Mr. Baldwin was publicly dragged through the cesspool created by their improprieties without any regard for the fact that serious criminal charges have been hanging over his head for 2.5 years. Mr. Baldwin held many roles when it came to filming. Not only was he set to star in the movie but was lead producer as well. Prosecutors allege he was also in charge of hiring Ms. Gutierrez Reed to handle firearms for Rust. At the time of the shooting she was 24 years old and according to other crew members was inexperienced and overwhelmed. Prosecutors add she was not up to the job, something Mr. Baldwin, being the most experienced member of the cast and crew, should have noticed. In a separate trial, Ms. Gutierrez Reed was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for her part in Hutchins's death. Her lawyers requested a new trial and an immediate release from prison, but was ultimately denied. She will be officially sentenced on April 15. According to prosecutors, Mr. Baldwin missed the beginning of firearms training after arriving on set 1 week after filming had already begun. Eventually, when he had his separate training session, the actor allegedly spent time either on the phone with his family or making videos of himself with guns to send to them. Prosecutors say Mr. Baldwin is deflecting responsibility after Hutchins was killed, as he maintains he did not pull the gun's trigger before it fired, but rather the hammer. At the time, the actor was reportedly rehearsing a scene featuring a cross-draw that Hutchins was contemplating adding to the script. The firearm had reportedly been declared cold by Assistant Director Dave Halls, meaning there was no live ammunition inside. An FBI investigation and forensic testing debunked the actor's claims, finding that the gun could not have fired if the trigger had not been pulled. However, prosecutors allege that Ms. Gutierrez Reed brought live ammunition on set and inadvertently loaded it into the revolver, adding it was the combination of Hannah Gutierrez's negligence and inexperience and Alec Baldwin's complete lack of concern for the safety of those around him. Mr. Baldwin pleaded not guilty to all charges against him, and if convicted faces up to 18 months behind bars. His trial is set to begin in July.